morning students, I welcome you all in this lecture. Today I am going to discuss the extrema, that means maxima and minima of function of two variable. You already know the maxima and minima for the function of one variable. Now in this lecture I will discuss the maxima and minima for function of two variable. So let us assume that z equal to f of xy is a function of two variable where my x and y are independent and your f is finite and continuous in the neighborhood of point AB. My topic is maxima and minimum for function of several variables. So now if the function fxy is a function of two variable and it is continuous and finite in the neighborhood of point AB, then we say that at AB we have maxima if your value of the function is greater than the value of the function in the neighborhood, that is where h and k are small values and are small non-zero values. So if the value of the function is greater than the value of function at a plus h comma b plus k, then we will say that at a comma b we have the maximum. And if f a plus h comma b plus k is greater than f of ab, then we say that minimum at a comma b. So in this case we will have a minimum at a comma b. Now if delta equal to f a plus h comma b plus k minus f of ab, suppose that this is your delta. Now here you can see that your f of ab is greater than this one. So for maxima your delta should be less than 0 for all values or for all small values of h and k, and delta should be greater than 0 for all small, and delta should be greater than 0 for minimum and small values of h and k. Now let us find out the condition on delta by expanding f of a plus h comma b plus k using a function of two variable. Now your delta will be this thing. Now we know that the Taylor's theorem for the function of two variable. So using the Taylor's theorem, this will be your f of ab plus h into del f upon del x at a comma b. Then we will have k del f upon del y at a comma b. Then we will have the higher terms. So that means 1 upon factorial to h square del 2 f upon del x2 at a comma b plus 2hk del 2f upon del x del y at a comma b plus k square del 2f upon del y2 at a comma b, and then the higher order terms. So minus this f of ab, minus f of ab. So this f of ab will be cancelled with this f of ab. So our delta is equal to, therefore our delta is equal to h into del f upon del x at a comma b plus k del f upon del y at a comma b plus higher order terms. Then we will have the second order terms and then third order terms and so on. So now let us suppose that let k equal to 0. If k equal to 0, and here because our second and higher order terms are in terms of h square or hk or k square, your higher order term is in power of h, which is your h square plus 2hk and k square. As our h and k are small, so let us neglect the higher order terms. So neglecting the higher order terms, we have this thing. Now if k equal to 0, then your delta will be h into del f upon del x at a comma b. Now you can see that here our delta will depend on h. So if your delta depends on h, let us assume, if not, because we have already assumed that our h and k are not equal to 0, so let us assume that your del f upon del y at a comma b equal to 0. So we have this value of delta. Now if del f upon del x at a comma b is not equal to 0, then your delta will depend on h. Now if your h is positive, then delta will become positive, and if h is negative, then delta will become negative. So that means delta do not have a fixed sign. Its sign is very it has a variation in its signature. So we can say that it do not have any maximum or minimum, because it should have either positive sign or negative sign. So as delta depending on h, as the sign of delta is depending on the sign of h, so we will not have any maxima or minima. So for that our del f upon del x at a comma b must be 0. So from here, therefore our delta is equal to h into del f upon del x at a comma b. Now because the sign of delta will depend on h, so if your h is positive, then your sign of delta will be positive. So if sign of delta is positive, then we will say that we have a minimum. But if your h is negative, then this delta will become negative, so we will have maximum. So this is not possible, because your delta should be either positive or negative. So here our delta is depending on the sign of h, and it is positive. It can be positive or negative, both. So for maxima and minima, your delta should be either positive or negative. It cannot have both the signs. So here your del f upon del x at a comma should be equal to 0. Your del f upon del x should be equal to 0. So therefore the condition for maxima and minima is del f upon del x at a comma b equal to 0 and del f upon del y at a comma b equal to 0. So this is your condition for maxima and minima, and the values of a comma b from. Now let us solve these two equations. So on solving these two equations, we will get the values of x and y, and the point at which our first order derivatives are equal to 0 are known as stationary point. So the point, so this is your necessary condition for maximum and minimum. Now the point at which del f upon del x equal to 0 and del f upon del y equal to 0 is known as stationary point. The point at which del f upon del x and del f upon del y is equal to 0 is known as stationary point. Or you can say that solution of these two equations will give you the stationary points. Now that means the point at which we have maxima or minima are known as stationary point, or the point at which we have either maxima or minima are known as stationary point. And the point where we do not have any maxima or minima are known as saddle point. And the points at which we do not have any maxima or minima are known as saddle point. So the points at which we do not have any maxima or minima are known as saddle point. Now let us find out the conditions for maxima or minima. Now here this is your value of delta. We have already assumed that del f upon del x and del f upon del y is 0. So the value of delta will be this quadratic term. So our delta is now as our delta is 0, as our del f upon del x and del f upon del y are 0, and these are the necessary conditions for maxima and minima. So our delta will be, now our delta is equal to this quadratic term, and it is equal to 1 by 2 h square del 2 upon del x2 at a comma b is denoted by r. We have this standard notation for the partial differential equation. In partial differential equation we denote del 2 f upon del x2 by r. So we are denoting this 1 by r. Del 2 f upon del x del y is your s. So this will be your 2hk into s. Then the third notation is t, where our r is del 2 f upon del x2 at a comma b. Our s is del 2 f upon del x del y at a comma b, and t is del 2 f upon del y2 at a comma b. Now let us divide this equation by r. So this will be 1 by 2r h square r square plus 2hks into r. Then we will have k square r into t. Now this numerator can be written as hr minus ks whole square or hr plus ks whole square, because this will be your a square plus some k square s square plus 2 times hkrs, which is this term. Now this b square is k square r square. Let us subtract this term. So if we minus this term, then on taking k square common, we will have rt minus s square here. Now this is your delta. Now here you can see that this is your positive, this is your whole square which is greater than 0, this k square is positive. Now the sign of delta depends on this rt minus s square. So if RT minus S square is greater than 0, so if RT minus S square is greater than 0, then this is positive, this is already positive, this is positive. Then the sign of delta depends on sign of 1 by R. So if your R is positive, then we will have minimum. If your R is negative, then we will have maximum. So if RT minus S square is greater than 0, then this is positive, this one is positive, it is positive. So sign of delta will depend sign of R. Then sign of delta is basically depend on sign of R, 1 by R. So now these are the following three conditions for maximum and minimum. If RT minus S square is greater than 0 and your R is greater than 0, then your delta will be greater than 0. If RT minus S square is greater than 0, R is greater than 0, then your whole delta will be positive. Now if your delta is positive, then we have minimum at A comma B. So this is the condition for minimum for a function of two variable. Second point, if RT minus S square is greater than 0 and your R is less than 0, then we have maximum at A comma B. And third, if RT minus S square is equal to 0, now if this is 0, then always it is positive, your sign of delta will depend on sign of R, but we cannot say what is the value of exactly R. So if your RT minus S square is 0, then as we do not have any values of R, S, T, then we will say that this case is doubtful, so we will need further investigation. If so this is equal to 0, then further investigation is required. For maximum and minimum. And the fourth point, if your RT minus S square is less than 0, now if this is less than 0, then this bracket can be either positive or negative. So that means sign of delta will depend on this bracket, which is can be either positive or negative. It is not fixed. So as it is not fixed, so we can say that for RT minus S square less than 0, we do not have any maxima or minima, and such points are known as saddle points. So if RT minus S square is less than 0, then we do not have any maximum or minimum. So we do not have any extremum at A comma B. So these are the important conditions for our questions. In our questions, if our RT minus S square is greater than 0 and R is greater than 0, then we will say that at A comma B we have minimum. And if RT minus S square is greater than 0 and R is less than 0, then we will say that we have a maxima at A comma B. And if RT minus S square is 0, then we will say that our case is doubtful and we will leave it. We will leave this case because we need further investigation for maximum and minimum. And again, if your RT minus S square is less than 0, then your sign of delta will depend on the sign of this bracket, which can be either positive or negative. So we don't have a conclusion, so we will say that this is not a maximum or minimum at A comma B. So just remember 2 points. For maximum and minimum, the necessary condition is this one. The first order derivative should be for maximum and minimum, your first order derivative should be 0. So our del f upon del x and del f upon del y equal to 0. Find out the values of A and B from these equations, and with the help of A and B, we will calculate our R, S and T. Now if your RT minus S square is positive, we will say that, and R is positive, we will say that we have a maximum, we have a minimum. And if RT minus S square is positive and R is less than 0, then we will say that we have a minimum. And if RT minus S square is 0, then our case will be doubtful. So let us solve few questions related to maximum and minimum. So the first question is, our first question is to discuss the maxima and minima of maxima and minima of u equal to xy into 1 minus x minus y. So our solution, we can write this u as x into y minus x square y minus xy square. So your partial derivative with respect to x will be y minus 2xy minus y square, and your value upon y will be x minus x square minus 2xy. Then your double derivative with respect to x will be minus 2y, double derivative with respect to y will be minus 2x, and double derivative first with respect to x, y, then with respect to x will be 1 minus 2x. Let us differentiate this one with respect to x. This will be 1 minus 2x, then again we will have minus 2x, so this is equal to 1 minus 4x. Now, on differentiating this one with respect to x, we will have 1 minus 2x minus 2y. Okay, now these are the various derivatives. Now for maxima and minima, our first order derivative will be 0. So for maxima and minima, our del u upon del x will be 0 and del u upon del y will be 0. So we have these two equations, y minus 2xy minus y square equal to 0, and the second is x minus x square minus 2xy equal to 0. So let us take y from the first equation common. So this is equal to 0, and if you take x common, then we will have this one equal to 0. So we can see that one point is your 0 comma 0, because if this bracket is non-zero, then we will have y equal to 0, and if it is non-zero, then our x will be 0. And let us solve these two equations, 2x plus y equal to 1 and x plus 2y equal to 1. So on solving, multiply this equation by 2, so this will be your 2x plus 4y plus 2. Now 2x plus 4y equal to 2. On subtracting first equation from second equation, we will have 4y minus y, that means 3y. This right hand side will be your 2 minus 1, that will be 1. So this is the value of y will be 1 by 3, and therefore our x will be 1 minus 2y. So this is 1 minus 2 by 3. So our x is 1 by 3. So the point is 1 comma 3, 1 comma 3. So therefore your a comma b is either 0 comma 0 and 1 comma 3 comma 1 by 3. Your x is 1 by 3 and y is 1 by 3. Now let us compute your RST. Your R is del t upon del x2 at a comma b, say at 0 comma 0. First at 0 comma 0. Your R will be del t upon del x2 at 0 comma 0, and this is equal to, if we put x and y equal to 0, so your del t upon del x2 is 0 here. So again, as your R is 0, so we cannot say anything about this because it can have either minus sign or positive sign, and so we will say that your S, and we will say that we do not have any, we cannot say any about 0 comma 0 because we can have either maxima or minima at this point. Again, if you want to calculate S, your S will be 1 and your T will be again 0. So therefore your RT minus S square is equal to RT is 0 minus 1, so this is your less than 0. So now if RT minus S square is less than 0, That means we do not have any maxima and minima at this point because it is negative. So therefore, this implies 0, 0. At 0, 0, we do not have any maxima or minimum. Maxima or minimum, because at this point our RT minus S square is negative. Now at 1, 3, 1 by 3, your R will be, your R is del T upon, your R is minus 2 into Y. Minus 2 into Y, that means 1 by 3. So this is your minus 2 by 3. Your S is 1 minus 2x minus 2y. So this will be 1 minus 2 by 3 minus 2 by 3. So this is your 1 by 3. This will be 1 minus 4 by 3. So this is your minus 1 by 3. And your T is minus 2x. Again, this will be minus 2 by 3. So therefore, RT minus S square is equal to, your R is minus 2 by 3, your T is minus 2 by 3. So this will be 4 by 9 minus S square. So this is your 1 by 9. And you can see that it is your positive. Therefore, your RT minus S square is positive, but your R is negative. So we have minima, we have maxima at 1, 3, 1 by 3. So we will have a maxima at this point, and if you want to calculate the value, therefore our U maximum will be x into y into 1 minus x minus y. So the maximum value is 1 by 3 into 1 by 3 minus 1 by 3 minus 1 by 3. So this is equal to 1 by 9. Now this will be 1 minus 2 by 3, and this is again 1 by 3. So your maximum value is 1 by 27. So this is the solution of this problem. Then our next question is, then the next problem is to find the maximum and minimum of, discuss the maximum and minimum of x cube, and then x cube plus y cube minus 3axy. So let us discuss the maximum and minimum of this problem. Here your del U upon del x will be 3x square minus 3ay. Del T upon del x2 will be 6x. Del 2u upon del x del y, this will be your minus 3a. Del U upon del y is equal to 3y square minus 3ax, and del T upon del y2 will be 6y. So we have these four first order derivatives. Now for maximum and minimum, our first order derivative will be 0. So from here we have 3x square minus 3ay equal to 0, and 3y square minus 3ax equal to 0. So on solving these two equations, we will get x square minus ay equal to 0 and y square minus ax equal to 0. Now these are the equations. Let us multiply the first equation by x. Say this is 1 and this one is 2. So x into 1 minus y into 2 implies x cube minus y cube. Now this term will get cancelled, so it is equal to 0. So from here we will have x minus y plus x square plus y square plus xy equal to 0. Now this bracket cannot be 0 because otherwise we will have the imaginary values. So from here we have x equal to y. Now if we put x equal to y here, so at x equal to y by 1 we have x square minus ax equal to 0. So from here either our x equal to 0 or x equal to a. Therefore, because your y equal to x, so we have 0 or a. Therefore, 0, 0 and a are two stationary points. So these are the stationary points. Now at 0, 0, your r will be 0, your s will be minus 3, your t will be 0. So your rt minus s square is minus 9a square, which is less than 0. So we do not have any maxima or minima. Therefore, there is no maxima or minima at 0, 0. Now let us discuss the point a, a. At a, your r is equal to del t upon del x2 at a, a. So this is equal to your 6a, your s will be minus 3a, your t will be 6a. Therefore, your rt minus s square will be 36a square minus 9a square. So this is your 27a square. And you can see that this is your positive for all the values of a. Now, if your a is less than 0, then this r will be negative. And if your a is positive, then this r will be positive. That means for maxima and minima, the maxima and minima at a, or the minima at a will depend on the sign of a. So if a is greater than 0, then your r will be greater than 0, rt minus s square will be greater than 0. So we have minimum at a. And if your a is less than 0, then if your a is less than 0, then your r is negative, rt minus s square is greater than 0. Therefore, we have maxima at this point a, where your a is negative. So this is the solution of this problem. Question: find maxima and minima of u equal to sin x, sin y and sin x plus y. Or we can have the question u equal to sin x, sin y, sin z, where x, y and z are angles of triangle. So if x, y, z are angles of triangle, then x plus y plus z will be 180 degree, that means pi. So our z will be pi minus x minus y. So in place of z we can write this will be your sin pi minus x minus y. So sin 180 minus theta is sin theta. So we have this question. So solution: let us differentiate u with respect to x. So we will get sin y. Now this will be your differentiation of sin x is cos x. Then we have sin x into differentiation of sin, which is your cos. So this is your sin a cos b plus cos a sin b. So that means sin a plus b. Now as x and y are symmetrical in u, so our del u upon del y will be, just replace your x by y. Just replace y by x or x by y. Now let us differentiate this del u upon del y with respect to x. So your del u upon del x del y will be, now the differentiation of this one with respect to x is differentiation of sin x will be cos x, then we have differentiation of sin x plus 2y will be sin x into sin cos x plus 2y. Now this is your sin a into cos b plus cos into sin b. So this is equal to sin a plus b. So this will be your 2x plus 2y. Then let us find out del t upon del x2. So del t upon del x2 is del t upon del x2 will be 2 times sin y, and then the differentiation of sin will be cos. So now del t upon del y2 is equal to 2 times sin x into cos x plus 2y. Now for maximum and minimum, our first order derivative will be 0. Therefore, for maximum and minimum, your del u upon del x equal to 0 and del u upon del y equal to 0. So we have the first equation will be sin y into sin 2x plus y equal to 0, and then we will have sin x into sin x plus 2y equal to 0. Now from here, either sin y equal to 0 or sin 2x plus y equal to 0, or from here our sin x will be 0 or sin x plus 2y equal to 0. So from here we will have sin y equal to 0 or sin 2x plus y equal to 0. Now this 0 can be written as either sin 0 or sin pi or sin 2 pi. Now if you write here as sin 0, then we will get the equation 2x plus y equal to 0, and from here we will have the equation x plus 2y equal to 0. So on solving 2x plus y equal to 0 and x plus 2y equal to 0, our x and y will be 0. So there is no need to write 0 here, so I am writing as this is equal to 0, and this 0 can be written as sin pi or sin 2 pi. So we have either y equal to 0, or from here, or 2x plus y equal to pi or 2 pi. We can also have the value of y as pi or 2 pi, but at pi or 2 pi, our u, r, s and t will be 0. So I am not writing those values, just I am writing y equal to 0. Then, now using this equation, again, sin x into sin x plus 2y equal to 0 implies either x equal to 0 or x plus 2y equal to pi or 2 pi. We can also have other values, because we know that if sin theta equal to sin alpha, then theta equal to n pi plus minus 1 to power n into alpha. So we can have general values as well, but I am considering only 2 values. At one point we will have maximum, and at another point we will have minimum. So therefore we have 0, 0 as your first point. Now if you solve these two equations, that means when your x plus 2 pi, x plus 2y equal to pi, and 2x plus y equal to pi, or x plus 2y equal to 2 pi, or 2x plus y equal to 2 pi, then we will get. Now let us see. Now if you multiply this equation by 2, then this will be 2x plus 2y equal to 2 pi. Now here you consider 2x plus 4y equal to 2 pi. So on subtracting from this equation to this equation, we will get 3y equal to pi. So y will be pi by 3, and so we will have x equal to pi by 3 and y equal to pi by 3. Now if we take x plus 2y equal to 2 pi and 2x plus y equal to 2 pi, then we will get x as 2 pi by 3 and y as 2 pi by 3. So at 0, 0, our r will be, our r is the double derivative with respect to x and y. So the double derivative at x into y with respect to x and y at 0, 0 is equal to, this was your sin 2x plus 2y, so this is equal to 0. because our x and y both are 0. And your s will be, so this was your s, our r will be del t upon del x2 at x 0, 0. And your del t upon del x2 is this one, because sin 0 is 0, so this is again 0, and similarly our t will be 0. So because rt minus s square is 0, so this case is doubtful. So we can have either maximum or minimum. So we can have either maximum or minimum. Now at pi by 3, pi by 3. So at pi by 3, pi by 3, our r will be, I think our r was 2 times sin y into cos 2x plus y. So your r means del t upon del x2 at pi by 3, pi by 3. So your r was 2 times sin y into cos 2x plus y. So this will be your 2 sin pi by 3 into cos 2 pi by 3 plus pi by 3. That means 3 pi by 3. So that means cos pi. So your sin pi by 3 means sin 65 degree, which is your root 3 by 2, and cos pi is minus 1, so we have minus root 3. Your s was, I think our s was del t upon, this was our s, and this is equal to, this will be your del t upon del x2, del x del y at pi by 3, pi by 3. So this is equal to sin 4 pi by 3, and sin 4 pi by 3 will be sin 240 degree, because this will be your 60. So sin 240 will be sin 180 plus 60, and this will be your minus sin 60 degree. So this is again minus root 3 by 2, and your t is equal to del t upon del y2 at pi by 3, pi by 3, and this will be your minus root 3. Therefore your rt minus s square r into t, so this will be your 3 minus s square, so this will be your 3 by 4, and you consider this is your positive, and as our r is negative, so we have, so at pi by 3, pi by 3, we have maximum. So at this point, at pi by 3, pi by 3, we have the maximum. And if you want to guess the maximum value, then the maximum value will be sin pi by 3 into sin pi by 3 into sin 2 pi by 3, and you can get the maximum value. Now let us discuss the third point, which is your 2 pi by 3, 2 pi by 3. So at this point, our r is 2, your r means del t upon del x2 at 2 pi by 3, 2 pi by 3. So this is equal to, now your r, your del t upon del x2 was 4 times 2 times sin y, so this will be your sin 2 pi by 3 into cos 4 pi by 3 plus 2 pi by 3, so cos 6 pi by 3, that means cos 2 pi, so cos 2 pi is 1, so this is equal to 2. Now cos sin 2 pi by 3 means sin 120 degree, which is your sin 90 plus 30, so sin 90 plus 30 degree is cos 30, cos 30 is root 3 by 2. So this is equal to your root 3. Similarly, our t will be root 3, and our s is del t upon del x2, del x del y at 2 pi by 3, 2 pi by 3. So this is equal to, so this is equal to sin, now this will be your 4 pi by 3 plus 4 pi by 3, So we have 8 pi by 3. So 8 pi by 3 means, so this will be your sin 480 degree, and sin 480 degree means 360 plus 120 degree. So 360 plus theta is sin theta, and again sin, this will be your sin 90 plus 30 degree, which is your cos 30. Cos 30 is root 3 by 2. So this is your root 3 by 2. So therefore RT minus S square is equal to R into T. So this will be 3 minus S square, again 3 by 4. So this is your positive, and our R is root 3, which is again positive. So therefore we have minimum at 2 pi by 3, 2 pi by 3. So at pi by 3, pi by 3 we have maximum, and at this point we have minimum.